Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here on this beautiful Friday with another brew review, and today we are going to talk about a beer from Cruzcampo. Now, I wanted to put online a Cruzcampo brewery breakdown yesterday, but unfortunately I kept finding interesting facts about this this brewery, and yeah, I don't want to break it down in 7 videos, so we will do the brewery breakdown later on. But for now, bit of dust on the can. But for now, we will be tasting this beer. Now, what I can tell you is that Cruzcampo is a 120-ish year old Spanish brewery started in Sevilla, and that is where this beer also got its name, because it is the Cruzcampo Andalusian IPA, and Sevilla is part of Andalusia. And this brewery has a very local character, or had a very local character for a long time, but that will become clear in that brewery breakdown. Now, as the name states, it is an IPA, it is a local IPA. They work with mainly local grains, in this case barley and oats, and actually this this can holds a lot of information. This is probably the most complete can that I've ever encountered. I also like the design. I do believe that this design is made by one of the youngsters of the Cruzcampo Foundation, but more on that in that other video. But what does this can also tell us? For example, they use an ale yeast, meaning this is a high fermentation beer. They use Pilsner and biscuit malts, so that tells us something about the color. And they use 4 kinds of hop, namely Pearl, Azacca, Mosaic and Simcoe. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Pearl and Azacca for the hopping and Mosaic and Simcoe for the dry hopping. Now that in its turn tells us that this will be a not so heavily bitter beer, but mainly a fruity, refreshing, aromatic beer, going for the tropical. Of course, we do have the Cruzcampo Gambrinus logo here, and it is a 5.5% ABV, so quite light, quite probably refreshing and fruity, ideal for hot summer's days, which was actually the goal of the founders 120 years ago. I also like this design, by the way. It is a bit busy, but it is the color scheme is quite calm, let's say, complementary. So, yeah, really like it. Oh yeah, that is tropical and fruity. I get a tiny hint of sourness, but I mainly get those tropical fruits like papaya, mango, some sweet citrus, some orange. While pouring, it seems quite viscous, quite thick. And this actually reminds me of one of the Brussels Beer Project beers. I'm not sure if it's the Juice Junkie. I think it's the Juice Junkie. Beautiful color. It's like an orangey, yellowy gold. Very hazy. Now, I do get a lot of yeast in there, and I did not expect yeast to be in the can, so maybe I should have poured more carefully. Lovely white foam, quite dense, not overall in abundance, but quite nice. It does have some large bubbles as well, so it's gonna dissipate rather quickly. Again, tropical fruits, actually even some star fruit in there, some pineapple. Yeah, getting that whole fruit basket in there. Okay. Well, as we always say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, so proof of the beer is in the tasting. Let's have a taste. Cheers. This is a very classic tropical IPA. I am drinking this quite cold, so when it warms up in a few minutes, we are getting more aroma, even more aroma. But it is slightly more bitter than expected. Of course, the scent of all those fruits, that fragrance, hides the bitterness in the aroma. It is quite present in the taste, but not extremely. Also, the mouthfeel is very, very dense, very full. Like I said, it is a quite viscous beer. Not because it's sugary, but I think, yeah, because of the yeast in there, and can't really explain it with this beer. It is very nice though, very thirst quenching. The bitterness really hops on the back of the mouth here, the back of the tongue, the roof of the mouth. Also, the aftertaste is very bitter and fruity. Now, I have read somewhere that this is not a beer for hopheads, but yeah, I'd like to differ. I think this is a beer for classic IPA lovers. Maybe not the modern hopheads that want to taste every flavor in the world in every beer. But this is a very lovely classic IPA with some high fruity notes. Like I said, I am getting a lot of tropical fruit in here, but I'm not missing the bitterness. I am not missing that typical thirst quenching grasp in the mouth. So yeah, I think this is pretty much in balance between those two, between the modern take and the classic. And I do see this as a very refreshing beer. Now, come to think of it, maybe the density and that full mouthfeel might have something to do with the fact that there's a lot of oats in this beer. I don't know how much of the grain bill is oats, but if I taste this and I feel how this goes around the mouth, I think that there's quite a bit of oats in there. Okay, quite nice. I am going all over the place with this review, I know, but bear with me. I actually don't know how to score this beer, which is, by the way, a good thing. It kind of caught me off guard, because right now I am experiencing a lot more bitterness in that aftertaste again, so yeah, I would score this like a 3.5. So slightly above average. Quite a good beer, well brewed, nice mouthfeel. It's not a quick drinker. It is very drinkable, but it's not a chugging beer because of and the bitterness and that density. So quite nice. So it's a beer to drink sparingly, but it is refreshing. It is thirst quenching. It is only 5.5% ABV, so a great replacement for a Pilsner. Yeah, let's keep it at 3.5. And I do think that at this price point, I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but it was not expensive at all. So I think that for this price point, this is a very qualitative beer. Okay. That's about it. As usual, if you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up. Let me know if you have any questions, remarks, leave them down in the comments. I am still doing that giveaway for the Omer Brut Natur, so head over to Instagram to take part in that. And yeah, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. You'll be the first to know whenever I upload something, which should be Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. our time. Cheers, you guys. See you again on Monday.